streaming. A couple of seconds, supposed to attempt right there. Here you go. I'm trying to find this video. I'm trying to find this video. I'm trying to find this video. It is right here, but why is it not playing? Why can't I get it on my screen? There it goes right here. Okay. So now it's there. So bring this down. There you go. Listen, man. You guys have to let me know. Today we're going to talk about what's going on in Minneapolis, and a lot of things is going on, and all of a sudden everybody's trying to blame the president. Is the president's fault? I don't think the president has no fault in this craziness that's going on in Minnesota, because the president has a job to do and he's doing a great job. And what he have done today just prove to everybody in the United States and all around the world that
Trump,
he's such a good president.
Think about, okay, if the mayor and the governor are going to put our ICE officials in harm's way, and there's a chance of losing more, innocent lives or whatever, then maybe go to another city and let the people of Minneapolis decide.
You got to think about it, man. Today, the president made a power move. And some people might say, oh, why did he send Mr. Tom, the border czar down to Minneapolis? Because I think that was a really, really good power move that the president did, because not for nothing, Mr. Tom, he gets things done. And he gets things done. He probably catch a little bit of he probably catch a little bit of fire, but the way he operates, at the end of the day, everybody's happy. Some people is always going to be mad. No matter what you do, people are going to be mad regardless. You could do the best you can every single day. You're always going to find people that just still, regardless, is upset of whatever you're doing. But I think what the president did today by sending Mr. Tom to Minneapolis and to report directly to him, I think it's a great power move. I think it was a really, really good power move because it's going to change things. And then the conversations he had with the governor and with the mayor of Minneapolis, I think is really going to change the temperature. It's going to lower the temperature with everything that's going on in Minneapolis. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is that people are pointing fingers at the president. Let's please keep in mind who really needs to be blamed for a lot of these things that's going on in Minneapolis. And is that woman, Congresswoman by the name of Uma. This woman got into power and she changed a lot of the rules that was taking place in Minneapolis, sorry. She changed a lot of the rules to benefit herself and other people in Minneapolis. So people is not thinking of, people is just seeing, and may God rest this gentleman's soul. You know, what happened to this gentleman it was unfortunate, you know, and as the president say, should have not went to a protest with the firearm, but Minneapolis is, you could carry a weapon. You could carry a weapon with you if you have the legal, if you're within the legal terms. You could carry a firearm on you. So the point is not him carrying a firearm on him. It's just the point of him carrying a firearm on him when he knew where he was going, was the things that was going on was such at a high level. It was so many chaos, and he knew that before he left home or before he left wherever he was staying at with that firearm. And I'm not saying what the border patrol people did is correct. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to be, listen, man. I'm just trying to say, like, unfortunately, this gentleman lost his life. He's unfortunate, 100%. I mean, God rest his soul. Did he deserve to lose his life? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And even the president, you know, the president even came out and said, listen, this has to be investigated further, because as a president, he's not going to come out and say, oh, this person, he's not going to pass blame. Like, I'm not trying to pass blame on nobody. You know, I'm not trying to pass blame. I'm just saying him knowing the chaos and all of the negativity, the negative things that was going on in this protest. He should have never entered that zone with a firearm. He just should have never did it. And once again, this is not giving the people who has shot this gentleman. I'm not trying to say that they're right. Absolutely not. I'm just trying to say, listen, let's not pick sides. Let's learn from what happened with this situation and move forward. And what the president did today was a power move by removing the people that was in command, removing the people that was in charge of what's going on when this incident happened and the other incident with the woman happened, by sending in Mr. Tom to be the sole operator of every single operation that's going on throughout Minneapolis, and then report directly to him. I think that was a great, great power move in every which way, shape, and form, because all of the things that's going on, and there were so many people that was in charge. There were so many people, 3-4 people was reporting to the president. So at any moment, you just never know what was taking place. But with just Mr. Tom reporting to the president, I think things will be better. You know, with the president having a conversation with the mayor, with the president having a conversation with the governor, and with Mr. Tom going down to Minneapolis and meeting up with the governor and the mayor, I'm pretty sure within the next couple of hours, the tension that's been boiling over in Minneapolis is gonna cool down. It's gonna definitely cool down, man. It got out of control too fast. Just too fast, things just blow out of control.
With respect, it feels as though in some ways you're blaming the victim here.
The victims are the Border Patrol agents. I'm not blaming the Border Patrol agents. The victim are the Border Patrol agents. The suspect put himself in that situation. The victims are the Border Patrol agents there.
This individual who came,
And as this gentleman said, the officers, the federal officers are the victim in that situation. But you can't call someone a victim when they have full control of the situation. The federal agent had full control of the entire situation. So you can't consider them to be victims. Once again, with this gentleman entering a hot zone with a firearm on him, which the firearm was legal. It was nothing illegal about the firearm. It was nothing illegal about that man carrying that firearm. Not at all. But that gentleman, knowing what's going on for the past couple of days, weeks, months, he's looking at all of that stuff because he lives in Minneapolis. So he's seen all of the chaos that's going on. So he should know as an adult, me carrying a firearm on me, going into that hot zone, it could backfire. Yes, my firearm is legal. Yes, I'm legally permitted to carry this firearm, but he should have thought logically, like, you know what, bro? It's not worth me going. And he was not, once again, I'm not blaming this man for absolutely nothing. I am not blaming this man for nothing at all, because everything this man did was done in a legal way with that firearm. He purchased it legal. He had a permit to carry it legal. Everything was legal on his behalf. The only thing that I will say with him going into that zone, into that area, knowing what's going on, is just a recipe for disaster. And exactly what happened. It was a recipe for disaster, him entering this area. You know, and that's why I said, thank God, Mr. President Trump removed people that were surrounding, people that was in charge at the moment that man lost his life. You know, with the president sending Mr. Tom to Minneapolis, things will change. Things are definitely going to change. You know, because you hearing people saying that, you know, the federal officers was in danger. Minneapolis is a state that you're legally permitted to carry firearms. You know, now you're going to hear people coming out, the weapon owners, the people that own weapons in, not just in Minneapolis, all around the country. You know, they're going to come out in support of this man carrying his firearm and saying that he did nothing wrong. You know, but once again, the blame, pointing fingers at this person, that's where we go wrong as a country. That's where we go wrong in society. When something happened that we generally don't like, we start immediately pointing fingers to figure out who we're going to blame. Who should be held reliable for what just happened. And that's where a lot of time we go wrong. You know what I mean? And this, the secretary, Miss Noem, I think she's a great woman. I think she's very educated. I think she's educated enough for that position. You know, I think she's a great person, you know, but her coming out immediately and saying those things in regards of what happened, I think it really backfired.
with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism. That's the facts.
You know, once again, she came out, I think, just made those statements too early. But that's because of what's been reported to her. She's not there. She was not at that scene when this incident took place. You know, she got a lot of fire for this situation. She got a lot of backlash in this situation because the statements she made right after this incident happened. But once again, Miss Noem is not there physically at that location when this incident took place. She is reporting what people said to her that's what happened. She is reporting what other people who was at that scene said to her. That's what she reported. You know, she didn't wait to see the actual facts of the videos and to determine if the statements that was given to her was true or not. You know, so she just went off of what people she trusted told her. You know, I think Miss Nome is she's great. I think she's very, very, very educated. I think she's you know I think she's very qualified for this position. I think she's highly qualified for this position. And you know this incident happened, and people should people should not take this one incident and make Miss Christine Nome seems like she's a bad person, because I really don't think she's a bad person. You know, like once again in life things do happen. Things happen all the time that we don't like, that we don't accept. You know, but we have to realize that pointing fingers and blaming people, and we are not perfect. Miss Christine Nome is not perfect. Our great United States President, Mr. Donald J. Trump, he's not perfect. We as God's children, we are not perfect. You know, things will happen that we don't like, but when things happen that we don't like, and we think that, okay, you know what, instead of we as God kids looking to blame someone else, let's relax, take a deep breath, everybody, and try to figure this out together. You know, going forward, because I think Miss Christine Nome deserved to, to continue in her role for the next couple of years. I think she's very, very qualified for this job. I don't think there is no problem this woman should lose this position, or people should go against her because of this incident. Was she wrong when she said what she just said? Yes, she was wrong, but she was wrong because at the end of the day, she did not wait to get the entire. She did not wait to get the entire story. She just reported from what the people she trusted told her. You know, that's why she came out in that press conference and said those words. You know, but when the actual footage came out, and then she seen the president seen, the vice president seen, everybody else in the administration seen several different angles of this video. And was this man a threat? At no way, shape, or form in none of the videos you see, this man appeared to be a threat at all. After him being sprayed in his face several times, he was just simply trying to help the lady that was pushed to the ground. You know, but once again, it's an incident that's unfortunate. It's an incident that's unfortunate, and we cannot sit back and continue to dwell on things that, you know what, it's not right. Oh, it's not right. Just listen, things in life happens all the time that we are not going to accept as right. It's, you know, it's just the way it is. But I don't think it's a good idea to be blaming and, oh, this is this person's fault, is that person's fault. It's at the end of the day, man, we all should sit back and be like, you know what, let's figure this out together. Let's see, you know, how we can make this better. Let's see if this ever happened again. Let's see how we could, let's see if this ever happened again. How can we, we resolve this in a better manner? You know, because you have to also realize, man, this federal officers, they're under a lot of tension. They're under a lot of pressure, bro. This job is not an easy job. You know, like people is thinking like this job, oh my God, bro, it's not an easy job. You know what I mean? Like these officers are under constant pressure, you know, to do their job. They're constantly being pressured to do their job. And sometimes things are going to happen. Sometimes things that just unfortunate. Once again, it's unfortunate what happened to this gentleman, but this federal officers, man, like they're trying to do their job. They're getting paid to do a job. And, you know, with people fighting them, with people throwing them bottles, with people throwing them cups, with people throwing water at them, with people throwing, you know, all sorts of things at these people, with people, you know, speaking to them disrespectfully. Like this guy is every single day, the women and men that is doing this immigration job is not an easy job. It's not an easy job, man. You know, like, and you could sit back and be like, okay, yes, but you took the position and you know that, you know, this is going to happen. You know, people is going to be disrespectful. You know, people is, yeah, but it's just getting out of control in every which way, shape, and form. So, you know, it's getting out of control, and the federal officers are getting more nervous. More this type of things going on, keeps going on. With these people, these federal agents getting thrown bottle, chairs, you know, water, soda, juice, getting spat on, you know, people spitting on the street, like, with so many of these things going on, it's just a matter of time before you break, before you reach your boiling point. And you will say, yeah, but they're getting paid to remain calm and de-escalate stuff. Yes, but once again, bro, we're all human beings. And the person that needs to be held accountable for all of this stuff, nobody's mentioning this lady's name. The Congresswoman, Miss Omo. This woman, nobody is mentioning this woman's name. Everybody's talking about the president this, the president that, Miss Christine Noem, the lady that should be held accountable for all of these problems. Nobody's saying nothing about her. That's what I don't understand. This woman actually got elected, got the position, and changed the law to benefit herself. This woman became a multi-millionaire. I'm talking about multi-millionaire within a year and a half to 2 years after she changed the laws in Minneapolis to benefit herself. Nobody's talking about these things. This is one of the biggest reasons, this woman's mouth is one of the biggest reasons that there is so many federal agents in Minneapolis. Nobody is mentioning this woman is the reason behind all these destructions. She's the reason behind all of this protest. And that lady is the reason for all of this stuff, but nobody's mentioning her. She became a multi-millionaire in a year and a half after changing the law. Nobody's mentioning this. She had millions upon millions of dollars stolen while she's a congresswoman fighting for Minneapolis, fighting for the people of her country in Minneapolis. Why this Minneapolis is being robbed for millions upon millions of dollars. Nobody's talking about these things. And more the situation keeps going. That's why I'm saying thank God for Mr. Donald J. Trump, because he's such a smart president. He's a smart man. So know that, you know what, it was just the time. It was time to change the direction of what's going on in Minneapolis. And that's the reason why, as a smart president that he is, he sent a different person for the operations in Minneapolis. You understand what I'm saying? He knew what was going on. So he's like, okay, you know what? A lot of these things is taking place. Time for me to send and make changes in that state. And once again, thank God Mr. Tom is going to go to Minneapolis, which is already in Minneapolis, you know, and things are going to change down there. I'm pretty sure within the next couple of hours, you know, things will change.
Security has proven to be unable and unwilling to follow the law to stop these killings. Kristi Noem has referred to these peaceful protesters as domestic terrorists and lied about the shooting victims being the aggressors. She told law enforcement officers to put on masks and military fatigues to basically treat the American public as the enemy. Kristi Noem has forfeited her right to lead, and I'm calling on her to resign as Secretary of Homeland Security, or Donald Trump to do the right thing and just fire her.
And this is the governor of New York State. You know, Miss Kathy. And she's obviously frustrated. Those words are frustrating words. You know, she's just frustrated with what's going on. But once again, I think Miss Christine Noem she deserved the position she have. I think she's qualified for the position that she's, you know, that she have. And I don't think, you know, she deserved to get impeached or for the president to fire her because of this incident. I just think, yes, when she went and she had the press conference, it was just a little bit too early that she had this press conference, and immediately came out in the press conference and targeted the gentleman and said, you know, the gentleman is a terrorist and this and such, because the facts is in Minneapolis is a state that is you're legally right to carry a firearm if you pass all the background check. Turn off this light, please, for me, bro. It's okay, perfectly fine. If you pass all the background check that you need to pass, it's perfectly fine if you carry a firearm on you. You know, so I could have understand if this gentleman went to that protest and He was brandishing that weapon and he was threatening the federal officers. I could have see what she was saying. I could have been like, okay, you know what? She actually has a point, because this gentleman went there with intentions to antagonize the federal officers. He went there with intentions to just cause chaos. But in all of the videos that Miss Christine Nome, I'm pretty sure she's seen them now. But once again, she at the time when she did the press conference, I'm pretty sure she was just going by what the people that she trusted was telling her. You know, I'm pretty sure she did not get a chance to see no surveillance of actually what happened and how the situation took place. And no, I think she was just trusting people to give her the correct information. And it was unfortunate. Once again, it was unfortunate she didn't receive the correct information, and it was unfortunate what she said in the press conference. You know, but her losing her job and her being, you know, impeached and fired, and I don't think, you know, I think she's qualified for the job. I think she's overqualified for that position. I think the president is a smart man. You know, the president is not your typical politician. He's a straight businessman. So he knows who to put in charge. He knows who to, you know, who to be a part of his circle. The president knows, because in the first 4 years when he became a president, from 2016 to 2020, at that point he was just getting into politics. So he didn't really have, Mr. President Trump didn't really have the solid knowledge of what politics was really about. He had a clue because he's very educated. Mr. President Trump had a clue about politics, but now, this term, he knows 100% the type of people that he wants to keep in his circle. So if he knew that Miss Christine Nome was not somebody that was qualified enough to be in his circle, she would not be in his circle. He knows for 100% fact she is qualified. But once again, Mr. President Trump knows, I know, you know, we are not perfect. As God kids, we're not perfect, man. That's why I always say, when people say something bad or make a mistake in life, never just jump out the window and immediately try to bury them. Because I don't care how perfect you think you might be. I don't care how good of a person you think you are. There's going to be that day that's you going to do something that you're going to, immediately after you do it or after you say it, you're going to be like, dang, what did I just say? What did I just do? Because we're not perfect. As God, you will never find a perfect God's child. You will never find no children of God to be perfect. You know what I mean? You don't matter where you grew up, no matter where you're from, no matter what's your background, no matter what's your religion. We're just not born to be perfect. Every single day we are going to learn. And it's very good to be willing to learn. It's never good to feel like I know everything. You know, always get up when God gives you life. Get up every single day and be willing to learn from a toddler. Me, I'm willing to learn from a toddler. And you might say, a toddler you can't even speak right. But listen, I'm always willing to learn from all and every of the creation God has on this planet. That's just how we have to go through life, because we will never know everything. We will never be as perfect as we want to, as we want to be. You know, so with this happening with Miss Christine Nome and people coming out, and you know, she's under a lot of fire right now. A lot of people is coming out, you know, asking for Mr. Trump to get rid of this woman. You know, a lot of people is coming out asking Congress to impeach this woman. Is that a good idea? I don't think it's a good idea at all.
And if not, she must be removed or impeached. And Gregory Bovino, who has helped lead and defend and escalate these operations, should also be fired. It's a shame I have to say this in America, but no one is above the law. No one. Not an ICE agent, not a federal officer, not the President of the United States. And make no mistake, when these people will abuse the power entrusted to them by their offices, are finally out of power, states, including New York, will hold them accountable. I'll have more to report on further actions the state of New York will be taking in the upcoming days.
And that's the only thing I don't like about politics, is the simple fact that I don't have kids, but you teach your kid to never look for revenge. And older I get in life, every single day I'm learning that revenge is not something you should take upon yourself. Revenge is something that you should honestly leave in the hands of God. And every single day I'm learning that, but it's easier said than is actually done. It's a fact. It's easier to tell somebody, or don't go down the path of looking for revenge, live in the hands of God. And actually, when something happened to you, when someone else do something wrong to you, it's very hard to be like, okay, you know what? I got to do something back. And that's how it is in politics. And when I look into politics and politicians, that's how it's been for decades. As you just heard what the governor just said, that once the people in power right now get out of power, they're going to be held accountable for their actions. And that's, to me, that's where, we are going to continue going down the rabbit hole, because we are sitting back and wanting to do something to somebody for something they have done 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And all of a sudden, you know what? This is the right opportunity to get them. No. What have done, let's talk about it now. Let's figure it out now. Let's figure it out now, and don't hold a grudge against me. Don't hold animosity against me. Don't wish bad upon me. Let's correct this right now. What was said, what happened, what I probably misspoke about what actually happened. But if you have some type of bad feelings towards me because of that incident, let's discuss this. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Don't wait 3 years down the line when I'm older and now I'm a grandmother or a grandfather, and now I have to worry about me getting indicted by the federal government for something that I did 4 years ago, that just me speaking and having a conversation about. And that's how it is in politics. Like, they will wait, the other people that's in politics will wait till this party is no longer in power. And once this party becomes in power, now guess what? Let's go and get all these people. It shouldn't be like that, because the cycle of these things is going to continue. At what point we're going to be like, okay, you know what? Things happen. Sometimes the things that happen, I don't really appreciate it. I don't really like it. But you know what? I will accept it, and I would love to have a conversation with people about it. But we can't keep going down the path of, oh, let me just keep it, let me keep it under the wraps until I could actually do something about it, until you get out of power and I'm going to hold you to the fire. No, we don't. It's just stuff like that. We just continue going backwards when we participate in things like that. You know what I mean? We are not perfect people, man. We have to learn to realize in life that things are going to happen. Things are going to happen, dude. 100%. It's just a fact of life, man. And this is how I know, dude, that the president of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump, that's a good man. Mr. Trump is a really good man, dude. He's a really good president. For the simple fact is that a lot of people is not watching the characteristic of Mr. Trump. A lot of people is just judging Mr. Donald J. Trump based on stuff that probably 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That's what they're basing the judgment on, Mr. Trump. That's the judgment they're passing. You look at you look at Mr. Trump as a president, as a man, as God's child, and you could see this man has a huge heart. He has a huge heart, because this incident, he found out about it. He was told about it. He was briefed on the situation. And before he came out and said anything, he had the White House press personnel came out and take questions about the situation, because he was just thinking about exactly, how this played out and why this played out before he made any statement. That's why I'm saying you have to look at President Trump character, the things that he do, the things that, the way he speak when things happen. And trust me, man, you have, that's what you have to take into consideration. Don't just look at the president and, oh, this man is this, is that. No, dude, you're making a big mistake, a huge mistake, dude. Mr. President Trump has a huge heart, dude. He cares about people. I don't care what nobody said, dude.
President remains under investigation, and nobody here at the White House, including the President of the United States, wants to see Americans hurt or killed and losing their lives in American streets. And we mourn for the parents. As a mother myself, of course, I cannot imagine the loss of life, especially losing one's child. And that same empathy from the president goes for the parents of angel families and parents of victims of illegal alien crime across our country as well. And that's exactly why the president continues to be wholeheartedly committed to deporting the worst of the worst criminals from our country.
Listen. The president has a tough job. The president of a country, more and more I look into politics, and I've never been into politics because I just never really liked it, the way, once again, of the whole I'll get revenge on you. I just don't like that, I don't like that. You have to do this because you're with this party and you have no. I think if you're a good-hearted person, it's not going to come down to you about the parties. I don't think it's about Republican and Democrat when you have a good heart. You know what I mean? That's how the country is divided. Democrat, Republican, independents, but majority of people is Democrats and Republicans. So that's, for decades, unfortunately, that's just how it is in the United States. And children are growing up to pick a side. And I think it's just a bad idea. You know what I'm thinking? I mean, I think it should be, everything that's done is done from a good place from your heart. Everything that's done for the country and for the world should come from a good place in your heart. You know what I mean? Everything. I don't think things should be done from I'm a Republican, so this is from my perspective of what should be done. And someone else, I'm a Democrat, this should be done this way. I think everything that's happening should happen from the right place in your heart. I think it should be done for the right reason. I don't think it should be done on behalf of I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. But once again, that's just that's just me. That's just what I think. You know what I mean? But the majority of people in the United States, they don't have that. They don't think like that. The bottom line is either you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. You know what I mean? Or you could be an independent. It's nowhere in the middle. A person like me, listen, I love Mr. Donald J. Trump. I support Mr. Donald J. Trump, but that's a love that I have for this man before Mr. Trump was a politician. Dead serious. That's a love that I had for Mr. Trump because I just like the way he is. I just like the way he talks. I like the way he carries himself. I like those things about Mr. Trump. And that's before Mr. Trump ever ran in 2016 to become the president. I always liked him from the TV show. You're hired, you're fired. Him firing people left and right. From the time he was firing multimillionaires, you're a millionaire, but you go to this man building looking for a position of something. He's firing you. He don't care how much money you have. He don't care about your status. And I like that about him. So that's why it comes back to me about Miss Christine Nome. Mr. Trump would not have this woman around if he seriously know that she's not qualified for the position. If he knows that this woman is not somebody that deserves to be in his circle, he's going to let it know. He's going to let it be known. Because Mr. Trump is not one of those people that be like, okay, this person have this status, this person have this wealth. No, he doesn't care. And he proved that to me when he had the TV show. He was firing very successful people with a lot of money, people with a lot of connections. It didn't matter to him. You understand what I'm saying? It didn't matter. It was just doing what was right. So Miss Christine Nome, I think, she really deserved another chance, and she deserved to complete the term that she was given. She's very qualified. I think she's highly educated. She deserved the chance, to prove that, what I mean, that she's a good person, she has a good heart. I guess, the things that happen, is just, is unfortunate what happened, but you can't blame Miss Christine Nome or, blame anybody. We can't sit back and point fingers of what actually took place in Minneapolis with this gentleman. Let's stop pointing the fingers and let's just all realize something happened that, it was something happened that was unfortunate, and let's learn from it. You know what I mean? Let's learn from the situation and hope and pray to God that this incident will not repeat itself. You know what I mean? And once again, with Mr. Tom in Minneapolis, I don't think situations like that will repeat itself.
Fight. This is everybody's fight. I've been doing, like I'm gonna continue to do, but I'm telling you now. Don't mistake whatever you speak up for today. Don't mistake opportunity to watch where people really need help. We turn out. Yeah, in front of me slowing down. I can't walk up and walk faster without really or presume to be called white. A lot of people are living in a racist society and they're comfortable with it.
And it's unfortunate, man. Every time I look at these videos, I'm like, it's super unfortunate what happened to this gentleman. You know what I mean? And as this guy said in the video, and that's another problem that we have as a society, man, that people is always immediately talking about race. Like, this stuff has nothing to do with race. This immigration stuff has absolutely nothing to do with race. You know what I mean? Like, it hasn't. It really have nothing to do with race, because before Mr. President Trump came back into office, the 85% of the people that was coming into the United States was Hispanics. So this is not about Hispanics and blacks getting deported. And no, it's not that, dude. It's not that at all. You have to just look at the people that was coming into the country in 2023, in 2024. Like, what's the nationality of the people that was coming into the country that was getting asylum? And once again, listen, dude, I'm one of those people that I truly believe that everybody that take the chance to come into the United States, I'll say the majority of people, out of 100%, I'll say 85 to 90% of people that come into the United States, they come into the United States for a better life. I will not take that away from nobody. 85 to 90% of people that come into the United States, no matter how they get here, they're taking the risk to get here for a better life, for a better future. Because there is no better country like the United States. There is a few people that do come here and get into serious trouble. There's a few people that do come here and, cause chaos, do bad things. But I don't sit here recording this video willing to say that everybody that come into the United States as an immigrant is a bad person. I truly don't think so. But my whole thing about, if you come into the United States as an adult, you know better. As an adult, you're grown from wherever you came from, wherever you was born and raised and grew up, in whatever country you grew up at. You already know about bad stuff. You already know about murders. You already know about robberies. You already know about drug dealing. You already know about all of these things as an adult. Once again, listen to what I'm saying. If you come to the United States as a kid and you don't know better, every single thing that you know, you learn from the United States. That's different. And I could say that very, very, very proudly. If you enter this country as a kid, as a baby, as a little kid, don't know nothing better, and everything that you know now is because you learn from the United States. You learn about crimes from the United States. You learn about drugs from the United States. Every single thing that you know now is because you learn from this country. That's completely different. It's different because if you're born and raised in a different country and you're an adult, you already know about all of these things. So if you get the opportunity to come to this country or to go any place in Europe or wherever as an adult, you should know, okay, you know what, damn, I'm running away from where I was born and raised for 20 something plus years. For 18 plus years, I was born and raised in this country. And now I'm an adult. I want to leave. I want to get out. I want to go someplace where I could have a better life, where I could actually afford to drive a nice car, where I could live in a nice neighborhood. I want to do something better with my life. And God gives you that opportunity. Why destroy that opportunity? Why? That's my whole thing about people who come into the United States or people who go to Europe. Not, once again, not just America. America is, to me, is one of the greatest countries in the world. But also, European countries are beautiful. And the reason why I'm always going to put United States first, I'm all America everything, 100%. I'm all America everything. I'm going to always support America. I'm always going to, America first in everything for me. I don't know about you, but I'm always going to put America, the United States, as number one in everything that I do and everything that I say. So that's why I'm talking like that. But Europe, there's a lot of European countries that's very beautiful. You know, so you coming from third world countries, as such as this woman in Minneapolis, this Congress lady. This woman came from a country that's, we could say it's a third world country. You know, it's no like road, it's not a developed country. Even in 2026, a lot of that country is still not developed. So you could look at, and that's not me trying to be disrespectful at all. And the reason I bring this up, this woman, Miss Omar, the Congress lady in Minneapolis, she came from that country where she's born and raised, came to America. She has kids, she has American kids. You know, I think she's an American citizen now. But my point of bringing this lady up, you came from a country that you know that's, it's bad. It's terrible in every which way, shape, and form. And you get the opportunity to become a politician that you know that you have now. You could change laws. You could do things that could actually benefit your country, but in the right way. No. Every law this woman changed with the power that she was given, as a congresswoman, it was to enrich herself and to enrich all of the crooks, all of the dirtbags, all of the garbage people that was robbing the state of Minnesota. That was robbing the state out of millions of dollars, opening up those fake childcare places and robbing the state for millions upon millions of dollars. But yet, all of a sudden, immigration is down there now, and all of this chaos and all of this stuff is going on. People is getting killed, and nobody's talking about this lady. Everybody's just talking about the president, but this lady is the one that should be held. She should be held accountable for all of those things that's going on. I don't know why nobody's mentioning this lady. I don't know why overnight this lady became a multi-millionaire from being broke. This woman became a congresswoman and she had no money. She married to some dude. I think he has a business. I think her husband is a businessman, but he was not a millionaire. I looked into this stuff before I spoke. Before I'm talking about it, I looked into these people. And before she became a congresswoman, before she got married to this guy, there was not millions. He has a business. He has a successful business, but there was not rich. A year and a half later, they're multi-millionaires. They're worth close to $30-something million. How is this possible? How is this possible? This man, her husband, been in business for so many years and never broke $5 million in his business. All of a sudden, a year and a half later, they're worth close to 30 or over 30 million bucks. You'll say, listen, a lot of politicians does it. You probably could say that, yes, but at the end of the day, name a politician that, okay, that got rich, enriched themselves, and they enriched the entire state. And not just the entire state, they enriched the entire state of the people from the country they came from. You can't tell me another state, another Congress personnel have done it. Yes, you could sit back and you could name a couple of people from Congress who actually became Congress people broke and they left Congress rich. Yes, listen, politics, it is what it is. You know, that's why it gets me so crazy when I be hearing people questioning the president of the United States about his finance. Like this lady, there's a video of this circling on the internet. This Australian lady asking the president about his finance and what he's doing for this. And like, what? What are you talking about? Like, why are you asking this type of questions? Like, listen, every president of every country deserves to be rich. Simple. That's what I think. I think every president of every country all around the world deserves to be rich because it's a stressful job. I think Mr. President, Mr. Donald J. Trump, listen, he deserves to be more. He been wealthy. Mr. Trump been rich for years. He been a wealthy man. His family, he has successful businesses. Mr. Trump been in the real estate business for decades, bro. For decades upon decades. So you cannot sit back and count Mr. Trump money. So this Australian reporter to me was like, what is this lady talking about? He told her, he said, just stop talking. He said, I got to listen. A matter of fact, your president is coming to the White House. We have to have a conversation, and I'm going to bring you up in this conversation. You're making Australia look very bad. He's right. Why bring up the finance of a president? Or it is what it is. I think every president of every country deserves to be rich. When they live the power position, they still deserve the money. Because it's a job that weighs on you, dude. It's a stressful job. The president of a country has a lot to deal with every single day. I don't think there is a day off if you're the president. I don't think there's certain thing as, oh, it's a day off. I think every single day is a working day. You have to take calls. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to meet with this person. You have to meet with that person. You have to do press conference. You have to, every single day, Monday to Sunday, all day is a go, 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 go. So you think after 4 years in office, after 8 years in office, you should go back to get a job? Absolutely not. The United States is 2 terms. So after 8 years in office, you think a president deserves to go work for money? No. They should be rich forever. Forever, dude. If I'm a president, don't ask me about my money neither. Don't worry about it. Simple and plain. You shouldn't worry about stuff like that. But that lady, though, that Congresswoman Omo, she has to get investigated and figure out how this money accumulate that fast. And the reason for that, because of so many people in her state was committing fraud. Was she a part of the fraud? Was she a part of taking and enriching herself from all of these government programs? Something needs to be investigated about this woman's wealth. All of a sudden, how she became a year and a half would accumulate so much wealth within 1 year and a half. This needs to be investigated. And the reason why it needs to be investigated because of all the fraud that happened in that state for so many millions and hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars. Somebody has to be held accountable for all of this money. Not just the people that got arrested. There's a couple of people that got arrested for the situation, but I honestly and truly think this situation came from the top. I think people from the top was a part of what was going on in Minneapolis. I really do. You know, and I think this lady was a part of it? I think she deserved to be investigated, to find out how she accumulated so much wealth within a year and a half. A year and a half is 18 months. 18 months. How you accumulate close to 30 or over $30 million in 18 months? How is that possible? You're a congresswoman that's making, a congress personnel makes, I think, about $200,000-300,000 a year, I think. $200,000-300,000 a year annual pay for a congress personnel. So how in the world, within 18 months, you accumulate $30 million? I think it's worth to be investigated, man. And if that lady is found that she had something to do with all of the fraudulent activities that was going on in that state, she needs to be held accountable. You know what I mean? Because all of the chaos and stuff that's going on in Minneapolis right now, I think she should be the one to blame for everything. I honestly think that she deserves to be blamed, because she's the one that was disrespectful to the president, to get the president angry, to get the president to to go into Minneapolis and clean it up. Like if she would have had the respect and have respectful conversations with the president and treat the president, with respect, things would have been different down there. But she has the audacity to be a part of a state that's hundreds of millions of dollars is being stolen, and she still have the audacity to be disrespectful when she's confronted about what's going on in her state that she represents. In a state that she became in power and changed a lot of the laws. And the reason all of this fraudulent activities was going on, because this woman changed a lot of the law to make it more lenient for people to accomplish this type of daycare businesses and get those type of daycare loans and whatever else the government was giving for those daycare programs. She was the one that made it lenient for people to open this type of businesses. So that's what I'm saying. Was she a part of what was going on? Did she know what was going on? I think is definitely worth this woman being investigated to find out exactly what took place. Like, I think she deserved to find out how she made all this money.
A second U.S. citizen has been killed by federal agents. The Trump administration has made a lot of claims about the victim, Alex Preddy, and how things played out. But videos tell a different story. So we're going to do something a little unusual. We're going to play a video of DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's description of the events. At the very same time, we're going to show you the footage so that you can judge for yourself. And a warning here, this video is very hard to watch. Take a look.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
So we wanted to play that for you to see what she is saying and what the video shows. Now, of course, this incident has brought...
And once again, Ms. Kristi Noem, the reason why I said that she had no idea what really took place, because as you can obviously tell in that press conference, she was reading off a note that was given to her. I'm pretty sure she did not write that note because she was not at that scene. She was reading a note that was given to her by people that she trusted. So that's not somebody who was there at the scene that's just giving you an basically of telling you exactly what they see, an eyewitness point of view. She was not there. So she was told this was what happened, and it was written down for her. Exactly what they told her was written down on the paper. That's why she went into that press conference with everything that she heard and what she had read. That's why she read out what was written for her. And I think Ms. Kristi Noem, she deserved the position. I think she's a qualified woman, very, very educated woman. I think, Did she really mess up on this one? Yeah, you could say she messed up on this one, but once again, she's not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Do she deserve to be, treated the way she's been treated for the past couple of days? No, she don't deserve it. I think, listen, we all make mistakes. You know what I mean? She don't deserve for the president to fire her. She don't deserve to be impeached by Congress. No, she deserved to hold a position that was given to her lawfully by our great United States president, and she needs to finish her term. Like, we're not perfect. She made a mistake on this one. Yes, she made a mistake, and it's obvious as day with what she's reading and the video you're looking at. It makes absolutely no sense. But that's, once again, the things that she's saying was told to her. Everything that this woman said that she spoke out that day in a press conference was people actually telling her what happened. She was not there. She was told all of those things by people who she trusted. Did she see that video that was shown by the news? No. I'm pretty sure she didn't see none of these videos before she had this press conference. I'm pretty sure this is one of the type of press conference that the incident took place. She was briefed on the incident, and immediately she went and had a press conference about the incident to hopefully try to calm the situation down. But in reality, when you look at what she's saying and what actually took place, it's just very far apart. But it's an incident that hopefully we could learn from, and we could be better next time. You know what I mean? It's not something that you could be like, oh my God, no. We just need to stop pointing fingers and stop, oh, is the Republican fault? Is the Democrat? Let's just listen. When is common sense decisions that need to be made? Let's just make good decisions from our heart. Not because we are Republicans or independents or Democrats. No, let's make the right decisions, but let the right decisions come from within us. Let it come from our heart. Let it come from the knowledge that you acknowledge that, this is something that God will approve. Let's make decisions that we know that God will approve. Not make decisions that that, oh, I'm making this decision just based on my Republican beliefs or my independence belief or my Democrats belief. That's the only thing about politics I never understood. A lot of politicians makes decisions based on the view of the side that they're with. The Democrats make decisions based on the Democrat side. The Republicans make decisions based on the Republican side. The independents, and so forth and so forth. Let's come to the middle. Let's come to the middle. Let's meet at the middle and make decisions that we know God will approve. Because at the end of the day, God is watching over every decisions we make every day. This life is not about money. Believe it or not, because the most powerful being in this world is our great God. So let's always think about making decisions and keeping our minds, before we sign off on these decisions, let's keep in our mind that, what? Is God going to disapprove of this decision, or God is going to approve of this decision? Let's stop making the decisions based on party lines. And let's do it from our hearts. Let's do it from within us. Let's do it from the perspective of God, which is all of our fathers. And God bless you guys. Thank you guys very much for watching the stream, man. And I was doing streams before and I just stopped, but I like doing streams. I just have to get my stuff together, get my stories and everything together, but I'm going to continue doing streams. Listen, hour and a half. I actually enjoy it. So God bless our great United States President, Mr. Donald J. Trump. For me to you, sir, as always, I salute you, sir. I always like taking the time to show my respect and my gratitude to our President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump. May God bless you and your entire family, sir. May God watch over you and your entire family, sir, on this beautiful, wonderful evening and forever. Safe travels throughout the United States, and safe travels to you as my President all around the world. May God bless you, sir. To all and every of God kids all throughout the United States, may God bless us all. To all and every of God kids all around the world, may God bless you guys all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, guys, please stay safe and let's treat each other the way we want to be treated. Treat people the way you want to be treated every single day. Always make our great God a part of your decision making, and always make our great God be proud of everything that you do on a daily basis. If our great God gives you life, do something every single day that will make him proud. And guess what's the easiest things that you could do? Care about people, help people, respect people. Those are 3 easy things that you could do every single day to show God how much you love him and you appreciate him.